Captain Marvel, the movie that'll be the MCU debut of Brie Larson, the Academy Award-winning star of Room. No, not The Room. Captain Marvel is going to be the last standalone movie in Phase 3 of the MCU. And based on what we know so far, it's going to be a game changer. Here's why Captain Marvel will change everything. If this is your first time on Screen Rant, you can hit the subscribe button and ring the little bell thing to stay up to date with our videos. So recently we got our first look at Brie Larson on the set of Captain Marvel. First there were pictures of her in a jacket, so people were like, oh, okay, cool. Then Brie herself posted a picture of her in a pilot costume, and so people were like, oh, okay, very cool. And then finally we got these first looks at Brie in what seems to be her Captain Marvel costume, although it's green. So it doesn't exactly look like the Captain Marvel costume we're all used to. In fact, it kinda looks like Rita Repulsa. But there's probably a good reason for the greenness, the greenitude of the costume. See, Mar-Vell, the character who's going to be played by Jude Law, is a Kree warrior, and when he came to Earth, he wore a green suit. He also used the name Captain Marvel, so we're guessing that Mar-Vell will pass this suit along to Carol Danvers when she gets her powers. Either that or she just grabbed some Kree uniform. Regardless, it probably has to do with the Kree, which actually leads us to why this movie is going to be such a game changer. We know that the movie's taking place in the 90s. The last time we had a Marvel movie take place in a different era was the first Captain America movie, so it's going to be cool to see 90s era Marvel, which is actually going to include a pre-eye patch Nick Fury. If we're lucky, we might even see him mess up his eye. It's a weird thing to hope for, but I'm hoping for it. So anyway, this movie's going to take place long before any of the Avengers stuff. And an important part of the movie is going to be the Kree-Skrull War. This is where stuff gets really interesting for the future of the MCU. See, the Skrulls are a race of extraterrestrial shapeshifters. It's kind of hard to say, but that's what they are. And their introduction into the MCU in the 90s has the potential to change the very fabric of the cinematic universe. Having these dudes around paves the way for Phase 4 to have an adaptation of Secret Invasion. That would completely destabilize the Marvel Cinematic Universe because literally anybody could be a Skrull in disguise, and they could have been for the entire time we've known them, or have been swapped out at a certain point without us realizing. The slogan for the Secret Invasion event was literally, "Who do you trust?" Something that's also exciting is that the Skrulls are heavily tied to the Fantastic Four, and now that those rights are back in Marvel, it's the perfect way to introduce them. So Captain Marvel is slated to come out in March of next year, just 2 months before Avengers 4. But is that really going to be the first time we see her? Or is she going to pop up in Infinity War? If you're asking anybody at Marvel, the answer is no, she's not going to show up in Infinity War, which might be true, but it's also what you'd say if you wanted to surprise us. On the one hand, there's already a ridiculous number of characters in the movie, and just cramming her in there might not do her justice. On the other hand though, post-credit scenes are a thing, and they're especially a thing at Marvel, considering that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 had like 5 mid and post-credit scenes. We're guessing Infinity War should have a number that's like in the low 30s, and technically she still wouldn't be in the movie itself. Also, according to some reports, these photos I mentioned earlier were actually taken in Atlanta, but Captain Marvel's supposed to shoot in California, and maybe Louisiana. What does shoot in Atlanta though is the Avengers. So in conclusion, Captain Marvel is probably gonna change everything, and we might see her sooner than we think. Let us know in the comment section if you're looking forward to Infinity War and Captain Marvel, and if you think we'll see her in a post-credit scene. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can hit that link to jump over to YouTube and subscribe. You can also visit ScreenRant.com for all the latest movie and TV news. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.